Welcome to the Motorcycle Clubhouse podcast. I am Tabasco, the egregious sophisticated biker or owner of the Sophisticated Biker brand. And this podcast is brought to you in part by, remember those sponsors in the 70s? We'd watch this. It's brought to you in part by Colgate. No, this is in part, is there still Colgate? Is it still around? Anyway, this is brought to you by the Sophisticated Biker Digital Media Experience and the Twisted Wind Biker Mag, both outstanding digital platforms because they are virtually one and the same now. And you can visit them at the two websites above my noggin. These are free membership websites. They have a free aspect as always. And look, man, if you want to get into the clubhouse and do some fun stuff and help grow this thing, it's like $9.99 a year or $9.98 a year. I even cut you some slack. A year. You tell me where you're gonna get a deal like that, man. Uh, but we have a member who emailed me and asked kind of I don't know, a question that I can't answer, but I'm going to do the best I can on this podcast. And I must apologize. You're going to put up with my scratchy ass voice because for some reason I can't get rid of it. But through the magic of video editing, I just got up and got a sweet tea and a York peppermint patty because they're good. I don't remember any of the York peppermint patty commercials. But I can't answer the question because it's an individual preference and path to take. So what this brother of the wind asked me was, what advice could I give for somebody joining a club? And well, there's all kinds of advice I could give you, but truth is, it may not, half of it may not even apply, or all of it, or most of it, depending on the path you walk, because everyone walks their own path. So I thought about it, and if there were just one line I could give anybody advice for entering into the club life is take from the club everything that you need. But if you're righteous, you'll give back twice as much. Now, that's probably the exception, not the rule, I imagine. I don't know. Everyone has their own perception of how much they give. People think they give a great amount, and they're probably the ones who maybe contribute, not as much as somebody else. Everyone everyone can't be what you are, or they don't even want to be what you may think you are or others are. Does that mean they have no place in the nation? No, because you'd be awful lonely if you're about it and you're righteous and you're a 7 day a weeker, man. If this is your life, you'd be awful lonely if all you were waiting on was more of you, because there aren't that many of us. And I was about it 7 days a week. I mean, and there were a few who cared to or could keep up with me, and the fact that I just run and gun and go and go and go and go, and I don't look back. It just consumes everything about me. That's just because it's my life. It's always been my life. It doesn't make me better than anybody else. It makes me bored. In fact, it may make them better than me because they have more, or, I just couldn't. I had blinders on when I was leading or in the club. Yeah, no, I raised my kids. I had custody of three kids when I joined, when I first probated for the first club. And I was a single father. And then I met a wonderful lady who helped me raise those kids. And we can always look back with regrets and say, I wish I'd have been around more because it goes so fast. But, all in all, I balanced it well, I think. I think I did. And the kids say I did. I mean, they're like 26 and 29 and 30 now. But there's always going to be those regrets, wishing you'd spend more time with them, especially when they leave the house. But you got to be you and live your life, man. Hopefully you do things right and you go home. But back to this Savage's question, and I don't know this Savage. I know what state he's in. It's not a Savage that I knew. So some of you all may be thinking I'm talking about somebody that we know, and it's not that same person. There's a lot of road names that you'll hear repeated. Obviously, everyone's got a Wild Bill. I haven't heard of too many Tabascos, thank God. In fact, only one, and that can also hurt because then you're get picked out of a crowd very easily. But so my advice again being take everything you can from a club but give back twice as much was what I felt like I tried to do. I don't know that I succeeded in all cases. I definitely didn't take I didn't take anything from the club physically. I went out 20 years to the hole in the deficit. I can assure you that I donated. I made good money in IT as a regional manager of a national corporation and lived well enough below our means that I was able to help and contribute to the club that I was in. And for some of you that wonder and ask, I'm not going to tell you what club I was in. Some of you know, but I was in 3 clubs. So now some of you are going, oh man, he's a patch jumper. No, my path was different. That's all. Actually, you know what? We'll call it 4 because the one I was handed at birth, although they were just disintegrated by the time I was 10. I knew all the guys, but of course I never had a chance to be in that club. But I do have the membership card from day one. But I'm sorry, I keep clearing my throat. All of a sudden tonight, my throat wants to give me a fit. But you know, the first club I came in was the real deal, absolutely real deal. And I'm hitting the pause button so I save you the rudeness of hacking and coughing in your ear. But I'm gonna tell you what. I came in at a good time. 20 years ago was about, in my personal opinion, the end of when you could still be somewhat. Well, let's just say I don't think that anyone's time is easier than anyone else's time. I don't think my old man's time was easier in the '60s just because they didn't have cell phones. And by the way, let's see if I can get my finger up there. That's the old man. Let's see if I move my head the right way. So there's lightning, and there's mom behind him, and that was, I believe, on his, I don't know, Triumph. It was the Triumph Bonneville, 60 something. Must have been. I don't know. I was born. They were in the club starting like 67. I wouldn't imagine it was new. Maybe like a 64. I don't know. But anyway, that's a 650. They were small people because I'd look like an elephant riding a hamster if I got on a 650. But anyway, maybe when I was his age, but he was always real thin. Still is. But you know, I tried to. So anyway, when I came into the first club, again, like I said, when you've been around the life and you've grown up in the life and you kind of pick things up quicker and you pay attention and you're a little older because I was a little bit older. I was in my 30s. You're a little wiser. Plus, I was also a regional manager with 3 offices in 3 states and 150 employees, and I built all 3 of those offices from a credit card and a cell phone for a corporation out of Arkansas. So I had a little experience. I had 20 some years in leadership in the corporate world at that time, in telecommunications and data and electrical. But so it kind of helps with that maturity. So from probate to president was a little over a year, and we're talking about president of the World Mother chapter of this particular club. And I say world because yes, they're big and they are affiliated and associated with someone even bigger. But you know what? I came in at a good time. I feel, and not saying that now isn't, because I mean maybe it is. I don't know. I've seen a lot of change in the life, and it's just not. I see way too many people who shouldn't be wearing a diamond, wearing a diamond. It would never have been even feasibly wearing a diamond, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. But you know what? I was also had the luck of the luck of being taught by some of the highest ranking and best 1%ers I've ever met in my life, and many of which are dead or in jail and dead. It's unfortunate. I probably buried more people than anybody I know. In fact, I know I have, and that sucks. But after a while, you get used to it, and you realize we ain't none of us getting out of life alive. And maybe what the hell did I do so wrong? I'm still here. I must have been a real mess in a previous life that still got me here. I really don't want to be here when the ground opens up well, maybe I do. Give me a fiery sword and let's just get this on, man. But anyway, so back to Savage. I'm sorry about that. The answer is that I really just do think that you try to give back as much. Doesn't mean you have to, especially nowadays. It doesn't mean that you have to give up your family or your kids. And I've heard a couple of platforms I respect. So's the Ghost is one. Um, and I respect guys that are speaking, they're spitting facts, they're speaking truths, and I mean, and then I instantly know they know what they're talking about, because if you've been in a life long enough, you can pick out the bullshitters in a heartbeat. Your favorite biker, a lot of you guys hate him. A lot of hate on him. I don't know why. I know why, because he's loud, and he's got flowing long hair, and he's tall. I don't know, and he's egregious because he's a one percenter, and most of the one percenters were egregious. My hair ain't exactly short, but y'all see, you never see me without a hat on. I don't have his flowing locks though. See, I mean, I could, I guess, but he's only been growing a lot longer. I need to do something about this gray beard though, man. It's looking like I need to get some. Oh, he knows who he is. I get some Just for Jim and put in that thing, and get it maybe back towards you. My hair isn't really gray at all. It's just the same old muddy brown water. But God daggone, man, this beard in the last year, hooey. I ain't gonna go bald no time soon either. I don't think, y'all, because I'm 55, and although I can pull a small kitten out of the hairbrush when I start growing his hair out again. Used to have it a long time ago, but I really didn't ever care about my hair anyway. I wore a helmet 90% of the time, or a hat like this. But anyway, but I think what happens is we see a lot of people. And I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. I'm not trying to pick on MCs, or any of them. I mean, everyone's got assholes. Every genre in life. In fact, like I said, I'm starting to agree with the World Health Organization that maybe we do need to, get rid of about 8 billion people, because you're a bunch of motherfuckers. About selfish centered. I mean, I swear to God, man, this world's just full of people who don't give a shit about anything but themselves, including you oblivious motherfuckers that stand at the gas station not knowing what lottery ticket you want to pick out, stand there for 5 fucking minutes. Like there's like 6 people standing behind you. You know there's one person, but you completely go blind and oblivious as soon as you get served what you want, because all you give a shit's about your damn lottery ticket. Man, good Lord, don't get me started. But you'll have a lot of that in the club life, you know. But the first club I came in, I'll be honest with you, um, I learned a ton, and from the right people, from people that were way up and big, 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 big organizations. And I'll tell you what, they treated me well. Others didn't always, because they thought they're better than anyone else. And some people were just like that. Some organizations are just really, really good at getting people that will drink the Kool-Aid, and it's not my problem. But honestly, at that time, they try to I'll say they. I don't blame the whole club. It's a huge club. You couldn't blame the whole club. There's thousands of members, but they try to do me dirty, and I ain't the one. So they really left me no choice, in my eyes, if I were to agree. Well, I'm just gonna leave it there. Put it that way. The regime at some level tried to do me dirty, and I wasn't the one. And I told them I wasn't the one. And that's that. I'm tell you what, I still got a lot of friends over there. I still, well, it depends on what clubhouse you go to, I guess. But they tell me I'm still welcome. So, but that was about 4.5 years of, the best education anyone could have gotten in the club life, from some of the most, serious one percenters of you'll ever meet. And then the transition between that and where I left from, was really a natural transition, because it was a majority of the people who had been in that club also had left after me. I was like the first out, because I didn't agree with what was going on. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even know why a majority of other ones left. I know why a bunch left after I left, because of what was tried to pull on me. But after that, I don't know why. Everyone came to their own. And here's the thing: every time I've ever left the club, I've never asked anybody to leave. I've never invited anybody along, and I've never asked anyone to leave. In fact, I rarely tell anybody. One or two people, the ones I care about the most, or are going to be affected the most. This last time when I left for good, I think I told 4 people, 5 people, because I wanted one to replace me and one that could have replaced me. He was also leaving as well, which we found out at lunch or breakfast the day before. I just didn't want to drop it on him because he is somebody who was very close to me, and in fact, was my state bodyguard as well. But and then that's when the rumors all come. Oh, yeah, he's doing it. Oh, he's all quit because a bunch of people quit. Oh, he's taking them here and going there. I'm gonna tell you, I ain't taking nobody nowhere. I ain't never took nobody nowhere. When I transcended from that club, which was a very well known and still is club in Ohio, the Middle Club, and I have the mad respect for them. I wasn't a founder of it, but I was the POP and ran it for a few years, 3 years, I think. We had a great time, man. It was the most fun. It wasn't nearly as political because it wasn't as big. We had like 55, 56 members, I think, in let's see, 4 chapters. It was a lot of fun, a lot easier on than coming from where I came from with thousands of members all over, and interaction with other big clubs. But when I transitioned to the last one, it's because I knew I needed to do something when I was going to be moving, and I knew I wasn't able to take the club I was in with me, and I never asked one person to go with me. I literally didn't. I did not invite anybody to transcend with me to this other club. This other club I have known since I was a kid. My dad's 2 cousins were members when he was members of the Aces in the '60s. I've known some of those people. They've known me anyway my whole life. And that was just a natural progression because the one that I'd come from was there's really only 2 diamond clubs in that area, and they're not enemies. So they both hold a level of respect for each other, and they well should. But they well anyway used to anyway because my old club kind of fell apart. But anyway, that's their problem, not mine. Anyway, the so when I made that transition, it was simply for me. I did not ask anybody, but I also did address it, being that I was the highest ranking member of the club in the POP. I did go back and say, hey, I'm going over to this club, and this is why. And there's nothing wrong with y'all's club. I love this club. I mean, but I know for 10 years I've had a clock running on getting out of where I was and getting down to Florida. And if I go in this club, I'm not going to have anybody down there because I have no one. I don't know anybody in Florida, and I couldn't take. I didn't know anybody, so there's no way I could have rebuilt this club, not knowing a soul coming down. And it was within a year of moving, and I really wanted to make sure that if I did make a transition, I would at least know if the club that I went to was going to stick, and it did. And we brought a lot of guys and started some 2 big chapters and fed some other chapters, and we went on to build additional chapters in this state as well, and helped out with some other states and things. And what, I'm proud of the guys that did it. In fact, I mean, everybody who was there, even the ones that drank the Kool-Aid after when I left and stuff, I mean, there were still some righteous guys who really put in years worth of work, years and years, and they put their skin in the game, man. And that's respectable, whether you get along personally or not. But when I say take everything from the club you need, I don't know what you need. I mean, I don't know what any of us need. I always say that we're from the land of misfit toys, and there's something in common. Either we're looking for something that we didn't have, whether it's family, whether it's brotherhood. I don't know. I don't even care to define it. I don't even know that I knew what I was looking for. It was just inherent, man, in my DNA, and it just was there. I mean, it's attracted to it. I mean, it's just again, but I've been around it my whole life. Why some people who are accountants and doctors and surgeons and stuff come into that, I don't know. I have no clue. Um, I see the allure if it's just a weekend thing. You got firefighters, you got cops, you've got charity clubs, you've got whatever. I get it. I mean, yeah, it's just the old, bike pack mentality from the old BMXs, especially for anyone, whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, and you decide on who that is. When you had all the 8 bicycles in the front yard, you all knew they were at so and so's house playing Atari or whatever the hell it was back then that we were playing, Pitfall and Donkey Kong. But I can see it, and I see the attraction, and there's nothing wrong with it, man. It's a great community generally of good people. There are assholes again and everything, but I mean, you want to talk about community that helps one another. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're on, in many cases, it doesn't matter if you're on a sport bike or if you're on a rice rocket, rice burner, if you're on a Harley, if you're on an Indian, you see a biker broke down, or they're in need of help. something like that. You know, there's many. It's like family. You'll stop and lend a hand. You know, the ones in the club, it's not really even. I mean, it's hard to explain, and some of you would never get it. It's not that they think that they're better than you; they just don't really give a shit about what you think, and that's where I was. I've never said I was better than anybody else. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy. Oh well, my Apache. Look at me. I had a guy tell me once that who had went in a couple years after I had left that first club, and we made amends, and you know we never really came to a head, but there was definitely contention, and I ain't stupid, and I tell people all the time, excuse me, I'm playing chess, and I learned that very quickly. And some of y'all motherfuckers don't even. You're still trying to figure out how to win at Connect Four, and you'll never get it. And if you're not thinking 3 moves ahead, and you're not spending 7 days a week living the life and doing your own due diligence and have some sort of a competency or access to competency where you can do searches and background stuff and work the internet and perhaps even the dark web, that you're not going to be as far ahead in the game. And I had a little bit of both. You know, I had the yin and the yang, as they say. But you know, I think that many people just go there looking for family. You know, and I think that overall the motorcycle community is family. Again, you got the guys that drink the Kool-Aid that they literally think because they put on a piece of dead cow and what's sewed on it, it makes them better than everybody else. And I don't know if that was the mentality when it first started. I think it became that way because those are your brothers and ain't nobody gonna fuck with them. But again, remember back in the day, they didn't even fight with each other so much because the old man said they would all pack up, and clubs that you know the history, if you knew who they were, that have been at odds with each other for a very long time, off and on. They used to ride together. They used to go to the same parties together. They used to do runs together back in even clear up into the 60s. So it was us against them being cops and citizens, because the citizens were the ones that were greedy and all about money, money, money. And the people generally, like my old man, and those guys, they all came from nothing. I mean, nothing. I mean, we're talking the bottoms, and that's exactly where he grew up. The bottoms. It was called the bottoms, and so together they had more. Together they had something. I mean, they don't have everything, but they have something, and they really didn't hold a lot of love for the people who had everything, and we still don't. I mean, I think that that's whole part of the society's problem. Well, some of y'all waking up because we realize that we live better. We know we live better, even though at our poorest. Well, not all, but I mean, a majority of the United States, at our poorest, we live like kings compared to millions and millions and millions and millions, and sometimes entire countries of people that still live, with nothing. And the sad part is we have the technology, we have the ability. Not we Americans, the Earthlings have the ability and technology to fix it. But like I've mentioned before, they don't have enough dirty linen paper in their bank account and shiny rocks. It used to be shiny rocks, gold. Now it's just more worthless dead trees backing that dirty linen paper that make it all worth run. It's an illusion, but it's all about power and wealth and narcissism. And you know what though? I get it, man. I've never owned a Cadillac. I've driven a Cadillac, and I've driven a Cavalier, and there's a hell of a difference between a Cadillac and a Cavalier, and I get it, man. That posh and the easiness, you just quality, because people make cheap shit for the cheap people, and then they charge more markup than they would ever charge for the people that have the money to pay. It's a backwards world. It's too bad because this planet is just done. I mean, it's no fixing it, in my opinion. And you can believe what you want, but I just simply believe there ain't no fixing it. But in the club life, I think that it's leaked in there because, like I said, there was a guy who he finally patched, and it was one of the guys who he would never. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you gotta give him heart, but he ain't no he ain't no clubber. Not like the clubbers I know. I mean, um, but he was proud of himself. But he's a bit of a smart ass. Never could keep his shit together or his bike on the road. But but I've always treated him well. I try not. I don't talk down to people. I might give them a little bit of sarcasm. I'm known for that. I don't know if you realize I'm a little bit of sarcasm in me and no patience whatsoever. But he said we were sitting at that clubhouse, and he's just rubbing me because he's all proud of himself because he had patched recently. And I got this. We were talking about something. I was the POP of the other club, which I can tell you was more hard hitting than that club was at that time. And I'm not talking about the one he ended up at. I'm talking the one he started at. But he said, well, I got something you don't have, Tabasco. I go, what's that? He goes, this. And he pulls his, vest up in his patch. I'm like, wait a minute. I had that one because I think that was mine. So I remember that little tear right there in the corner. He's like, whoa. I'm like, I'm just fucking with you, man. I said, good for you. I said, but let me tell you something. I said, don't throw something in my face that I handed back. I said, so I gave it back. I said, if I wanted it, I'd still have it. And I've had it long before you. And then, I said, but don't get cocky. And again, we didn't get heated. We were just busting each other's balls and shit. And then he asked me like a week later to borrow my bike, or 2 weeks later to go on a mandatory run out of state. I'm like, you lost your fucking mind, man. Although I did let a club brother take my bike from Ohio to Sturgis once. In fact, I've never gone to Sturgis because I hate crowds and I hate people, and I really don't like traffic. But I would probably go the week before, and I'll make that trip eventually. I always say that, but I really just haven't been in a rush for it because I'd rather go out there when it ain't hailing and a million people out there. But Club Brother, you get the patch that says I rode mine to Sturgis, and I had a former Club Brother who had a patch made that said I rode Tabasco's to Sturgis 2005, I think it was. But anyway, it wasn't 5. I don't know what the hell it was, 15 maybe. I don't know. But anyway, you get the point. So my point is that my advice would be, if I were going in a club, and see, it's too late for me. I mean, anyway, I mean, it's not. I mean, I've been offered many gracious offers from some big clubs. I don't know, man. I just don't. It'd be hard to start over and fall. I'd have to fall in love with something that I've already seen the back. It'd be like going back and marry one year. Well, I don't want to say that because some of y'all probably done that, but it's just never the same when you go back. If you split up from something, when you divorce something and you try to go back, it's never going to be the same. But because the trust is gone and the love has been tarnished. But and doesn't mean I don't like clubs. It just means I see right through it, and I still maintain the respect. 'Cause that's the other thing. I would say hang out with the oldest members of your club that you can find if you're going into a club, man. Find the old guys, and I guess that's me now. Shit, I don't know how that happens damn fast. Because I remember when we had a probate for our 1% club was 50 years old, and there was like, oh my god, he's 50-year-old. He's a 50-year-old probate. I'm like, geez, crap, I'm 55 now. Where in the hell did that go? But I would say find the oldest guys. They're willing to tolerate you if they are, and listen to every word they say. Shut your mouth, open your ears. You don't have to agree with everything, but don't disrespect them. But be your own man. Don't lose. Too many times you see grown men in there groveling and shit. I can't. I'm not even going to tell you the story because it sickens me about how I've seen men treated by other men in the club life. Like, this is not parole or some shit. It's not a prison sentence, man. It's a volunteer. And you're going to be awful lonely being a big asshole to just yourself when you keep this shit up, because ain't nobody going to want to be around you. And I'm going to tell you, there's always somebody gunning for your position. You're going to make it real easy for them to take it if you keep being an asshole, because they're going to vote you out. If they have the ability to vote. Not all clubs allow it, but it doesn't really matter, because even the ones that don't have the ability to vote, I guarantee you, and I 1000% guarantee you, they find a way to get rid of you, because I've seen it over and over and over. You want to stay just popular enough that people like you, but just strong enough that as long as the club's moving in the right direction, you're making money, however that is, and you're treating people right. I mean, don't look down on people, man. Build them up. That's the best leadership. I mean, not everyone gets it. Even in the workplace, they promote the best carpenter to supervisor. It doesn't make him a man or a woman that can manage people. Doesn't make them a good leader. Makes them a good carpenter. But that's just our society. It does that. Oh, he's really good at whatever. I'm going to make him the foreman. He didn't have an ounce of foreman in him, but he's one hell of a hammer swinger. But they're going to make him the boss, and he got no boss skills. So, but then again, you can have bosses who have nothing but boss skills. They don't know a fucking thing about what you're doing in the field, because that drives you absolutely nuts too. So you got to have a little bit of both, right? So that's the guy you're looking for. But if you can find some of them old guys and learn from their wins and their losses, because you get to know one of them or two of them really well. Like I found the 3 oldest guys well, two of the longest wearing patch members in the nation, and really three, because all three were over 30, or four actually. If I want to throw old farm goat in there, but guys that I liked and respected. No, they're not perfect. They had come up in the life, though, for 30, 40 years. I mean, you're not going to see that very often. If you can stay in a club 10, 15, 20 and stay active, I mean, you're doing good. You probably started 20 years ago, though, because starting now and trying to get through the next 20, I don't know, man. I hope so. I mean, it's just going to be the biggest bully wins all the time. It's going to be a battle. So you got, those guys tend to try to get their pack together and blaze through and take what they can, but they don't give back. Unfortunately, a lot of them don't give back very much. They just take, man. But they're good at it, and they're dealing with people who need attention, or they need whatever. So I mean, and anyone who knows me and knows who I'm talking about, I want them on the bus. The biggest narcissist, fucking bully, punk ass motherfucker you would ever possibly meet in your life. I mean, and he's damn good at it. And you know what? I don't even mind it. I mean, he was somebody that we've been friends a long time. He'll never admit it, not to anybody else but me. And uh, I tell you what, though, he ain't stupid. I mean, for a big dummy, he ain't stupid. And I miss him a lot. He was one of the ones that was just always looking out for himself, and I can't blame him for that, man. I mean, that's playing the game, right? I mean, he threw me under the bus more times than I can count. But many people who knew him well, or didn't even know him well, but spent some time with him, even one who I have zero respect for, who just nothing but a poser, backstabber. He spent a weekend with him, and he said, "I used to think that you overemphasized this guy's amount, how much he liked you, or what he thought of you." He goes, because this guy doesn't show any emotion whatsoever, that he gives a flying flip about anything. He goes, but he goes, having spent a couple days with him, he goes, I think you way underestimate the amount of respect and admiration that man has for you. And he goes, it blew me away. And, but he'd never admit it because he's a knucklehead. He's a big dum-dum. But all right, I miss him. But maybe in another life, we'll go out and do some more pillaging. I'll or who knows, this life ain't over yet. We might end up pirates after all, after they try to sink our battleship from overseas. But okay, that's all I got. Give back, or take everything you need. Give back twice as much. Find the old guys, shut your mouth and listen and learn, because you'll learn so much from them. And you know, always, always, every time you see somebody, it could be your own club brothers, it could, because a lot of these nations are big nations, man, and you only see guys once a year, maybe once every couple of years, man. But then you're also dealing with other clubs. Some of you may be dealing with other big clubs. I happen to be in a melting pot, and my goal was to always earn the respect and admiration of those guys. Because remember, they're just guys too, just like you. They're men just coming up, and they're not always all sure of everything. Some may come off that way, but I guarantee you they ain't. If I earn their respect every time I saw them, whether it be adversarial or whether it be in friendship, they would then respect, I would have earned their respect. And over 10, 15, 20 years, even if they were pissed at me, and some, while most of the guys that were my own patch, and really only a couple of them, they despise me because they're jealous. It has nothing to do with me. It's their problem. It ain't my problem. I'm just living my life. I have no intention of being an apple of anybody's eye, other than my Mrs. Tabasco. But some people can't help themselves because they just know how fake they are, and they don't like to be around people who are real, because it makes them realize how fake they are. And they can never trick, borrow, beg, or steal the respect. You can't demand it. You'll never earn it that way. But if you go out and earn it, re-earn the respect of everyone that you care that respects you or likes you or not, if you do, every time you meet them, you will have the reputation of being a righteous and respectful person. And that comes in handy in life, I can tell you that. Better than a 540 credit score. Keep it real.
They still love you, and when they do, they lie. There ain't nobody really on your side. You let the some schoolyard bullies tell you what to do, because the masses won't stand up to just a few. You're playing checkers, but we're playing chess. If you fuck with me, I will make a bloody mess. We may have only but a few, but I wouldn't trade one for 10 of you. They got big egos, it's plain to see. I didn't leave the life left me. There ain't no honor in the life no more. They say they love you, but like a $50 whore. There ain't no honor in the life no more. They playing games and we about to war. Keep your head on a swivel and watch your back, or you can fuck around with us and find out, Jack. They got big and they disrespecting you. This is what happens when the monkeys run the zoo. They're just waiting for your crumbs to fall, because they know that you have earned respect from all. You don't get it by demanding respect, so you can charge people $5 for a $2 jack. You say you got a problem with the lies you believe. Sounds like a you problem, that ain't on me. They got big egos, it's plain to see. I didn't leave the life left me. There ain't no honor in the life no more. They say they love you, but like a $50 whore. There ain't no honor in the life no more. They playing games and we about to war. Keep your head on the swivel and watch your back, or you can fuck around with us and find out, Jack. You ain't seen nothing like my brother Click Clack. That brother's crazy and can speak with just a smack. You better do yourself a big old favor, keep it straight with him, cause he ain't no fucking player. You don't wanna meet my brother Goon, cause he'll put you in the grave way too soon. And like Train and my brother Pritch, they gonna make you dig your own damn ditch. They got big egos, it's plain to see. I didn't leave the life left me. There ain't no honor in the life no more. They say they love you, but like a $50 whore. There ain't no honor in the life no more. They playing games and we about to war. Keep your head on a swivel and watch your back, or you can fuck around with us and find out, Jack. I take 4 quarters over 9 pence. If you ain't down with that, mine says you know get bent. It ain't supposed to be all about hustling cash. And Jake says take out your own damn trash. My brother Fish says you got to be real, but most y'all don't know how that even feels. The life you're living ain't all that appealing, and my message to you all is fuck your feelings. They got big egos, it's plain to see. I didn't leave the life left me. And when we send you from this life, then you join the dead. I got one on the other side waiting, our departed brother Tread. The life you're living ain't all that appealing, and my message to you all is fuck your feelings. They got big egos, it's plain to see. I didn't leave the life left me. When we send you from this life, then you join the dead. I got one on the other side waiting, our departed brother Tread. The life you're living ain't all that appealing, and my message to you all is fuck your feelings. You ain't seen nothing like my brother Click Clack. That brother's crazy and can speak with just a smack. You better do yourself a big old favor, keep it straight with him, cause he ain't no fucking player. You don't wanna meet my brother Goon, cause he'll put you in the grave way too soon. And like Train and my brother Pritch, they gonna make you dig your own damn ditch. I take 4 quarters over 9 pence. If you ain't down with that, mine says you know get bent. It ain't supposed to be all about hustling cash. And Jake says take out your own damn trash. My brother Fish says you got to be real, but most y'all don't know how that even feels. The life you're living ain't all that appealing, and my message to you all is fuck your feelings. It's plain to see I didn't leave the life left me. And when we send you from this life, then you join the dead. I got one on the other side waiting, our departed brother Tread.